The Humanities Department is taking a major financial loss. Find out how this will affect the community up next.
A new organization in San Jose State hopes to combat Asian American hate. Stay tuned to find out more.
SJSU hosted a special event in honor of a deceased instructor. More on that coming up.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Ira Moreno.
And I'm Vincent Rapena. On Monday, the Trump administration announced they will be freezing $2.2 billion in funds to Harvard University after it declined to adhere to the administration's request. The administration sent a letter to the university on Friday, including various requests stating that the university has, quote, failed to live up to both the intellectual and civil rights conditions that justify federal investment. Some of the requests included in the letter were asking the institution to reform its international program in reference to screening their applicants for being supporters of terrorist groups and anti-Semitic, and that the university must adopt merit-based hiring policies and cut any preferences based on race, color, sex, and religion. On Monday, the university responded, declining the administration's request, saying the university will not surrender its independence or relinquish its constitutional rights. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services released a statement immediately after, stating they would be freezing the money and that Harvard's response was troubling and that the harassment of Jewish students is intolerable. Update News will continue to follow the story.
The Department of Government Efficiency has cut funding for the humanities. As a result, California Humanities has suspended grants. Reporter Isabella Dandoy went out to talk to those impacted by their loss.
Currently, there are 5 National Endowment for the Humanities grants, or NEH grants, at San Jose State. But on April 4th, grant recipients were notified that their funding was canceled.
Heartbreaking news to hear. I've participated in other NEH programs because this was such a kind of reinvigorating moment for me to go to this one in San Jose.
Jonathan Medeiros attended an NEH-funded summer institute for K-12 educators in San Jose back in 2018, a program that explored immigration in California through literature. Now, that opportunity for educators has been cut. According to the New York Times, NPR, and more, recipients were notified that their grants would be redirected to furthering federal interests, the core focus of the Department of Government Efficiency.
I've started paying for my own college classes again because I just want to keep learning.
Matthew Spangler, the Summer Institute's project director, has run the institute since 2014.
No, we couldn't do this without the funding. The funding for this particular project is of a large enough amount that it's very difficult to make it up with like university support.
As of April 16, over 1,000 grants have been canceled. In California, over $27 million in funding has been lost. A small fraction of the federal budget, but a major blow to local programs. After losing her grant, Catherine D. Harris has turned her focus to advocating for the humanities at the state level.
Saving the humanities and really valuing the humanities and arts, it's not a luxury. It's something that we do in order to understand each other.
For updates on terminated grants, visit impact.ach.org. In San Jose, I'm Isabella Dandoy. Update News.
A new organization at San Jose State University hopes to combat issues that Asian Americans face. It held its first meeting on Tuesday. Reporter Larry Larkin was there and he has the story.
This is Ron Rajani, the president of Critical Asian American Students for Political Action, also known as CASPA. He is Indian American and he describes his experiences in dealing with hate crime.
Growing up in a world that's post 9/11 with brown skin I'm not Muslim and I'm not Arab, but I'm treated as such.
This is one of many issues that CASPA hopes it can help Asian Americans with alongside other issues like institutionalized racism, discrimination, sexism, homophobia, and transphobia. A new organization, CASPA, held its first meeting on Tuesday at Dudley Moorhead Hall. One of the founding members of CASPA spoke to me about what CASPA hopes to provide to other communities, not just Asian Americans.
There's a lot of issues that are facing many marginalized communities around the world today, and being able to have a space to come together with other people who want to address those issues is very important to me, and that's part of why we founded this organization.
One issue as it relates to San Jose State students is the presence of ICE. CASPA also has a goal to give students a space to talk about those fears.
I know personally some people in my community that have a deep fear of policing, of being deported. So I think it's important for students to have that space that we're trying to with CASPA, where they can talk about that fear in a safe space, because right now campus is not as safe as we have seen ICE come on campus.
CASPA builds on the legacy of more than 55 years of critical Asian American resistance and organizing at San Jose State. One issue Asian Americans face is hate crime, which has increased since COVID-19. According to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, there were 279 reported anti-Asian incidents in 2020. That's a 77% increase from 2019. Rajani explains how he wants people to feel.
I want people who share the same pain and the same anger as me to feel like they have a space to express that.
Rajani told me that approximately 40% of San Jose State's student body is Asian American. With such a large Asian population on campus, CASPA hopes its presence will uplift the diverse group. At San Jose State, Larry Larkin, Update News.
On Wednesday, the philosophy department held a memorial service on the San Jose State campus for a professor who passed away back in October. Reporter Nick Austin is live with more.
Professor Anand Vadia was a beloved teacher, colleague, and friend to many in the philosophy department here at San Jose State. He unfortunately lost his battle with cancer and died on October 12th. Wednesday's memorial service was a time for friends, former students, and colleagues to celebrate his life and share the memorable experiences they had with Vadia. Professor Vadia joined SJSU in 2005, 3 years after Janet Stenwedel joined. Stenwedel spoke about what made Vadia a true philosopher.
Adam was a philosopher who followed his curiosity. Curiosity was the thing that drove him, and it meant that he could not be contained by a single subfield.
Professor Vadia was also admired by his former students.
Thoughtful of the students, but at the same time, like kind of casual, not too official. Like he didn't he told people to call him by his first name, which I thought like maybe, I'm not sure if any other professor has ever like said that.
Ari Leogan and his mother, Corrine Brown, also reflected on their thoughts of Professor Vadia.
On a personal level, Anand was selfless. He always made sure that everyone around him was feeling comfortable, was doing well. He was always helping people.
But you know what? He was just someone who was so open to so many different kinds of people and was just so accepting of every kind of person that you never felt estranged or odd or like weird at all around him.
Many stories and experiences about Professor Vadia were shared at Wednesday's memorial service. Laughs were had and tears were shed. Although Professor Vadia is gone, his memory and work live on at the San Jose State campus. Live in San Jose, Nick Austin, Update News.
We will have more for you when we come back.
Dozens of street blogs were closed to honor San Jose Day. Stay tuned to see how the community rode around the city to celebrate.
Independent filmmakers were given the opportunity to steal the spotlight. Find out who shined the brightest up next.
Want to know what the weather will be like for Easter egg hunting? Stay tuned to find out in this week's weather forecast.
A new partnership with SJSU Athletics is bringing a new way of exposure for all student athletes. Reporter Justin Ray went out to find more.
Teamworks Influencer is an athlete networking platform that opens doors for student athletes in an increasingly growing NIL market. NIL stands for Name, Image, and Likeness, and allows collegiate athletes to profit from their own personal brand. Last week, SJSU Athletics partnered with an AI-driven company, which is used by over 3,500 sports teams across the world. Teamworks Influencer provides an AI engine that combines tools such as facial recognition, AI jersey tagging, and partner logo recognition to simplify the task of gathering footage for athletes' networking platforms. Leland Smith just recently transferred to SJSU and has previously used the platform. He believes that the platform brings attention to something that often gets overlooked.
As student athletes, a lot of times we don't have the time or the capabilities to sit there and do the outsourcing and reaching out on our own.
Along with exposure, Teamworks also provides athletes with networking practice that could even help the athletes outside of their sport.
I think that's something that you need to know after football, because a lot of student athletes don't really think about the next stages after sports, and fortunately you can't play sports forever.
This deal will affect all SJSU athletes, and the university has emphasized how important it is for athletes to get noticed.
We want them out there. We want them to be seen, and we want it easy for people to be able to get to their NIL.
For athletes, their image is an important part of their career, and this partnership aims to increase athletes' exposure.
I think it's a great opportunity just to be able to get our name, like get our branding up, and then ultimately like capitalize on our capabilities.
For athletes who need help navigating through the NIL market, Teamworks also provides educational resources. Update News reached out to Teamworks but received no response. In San Jose, I'm Justin Ray, Update News.
Bikes replaced cars on the street of San Jose this past weekend as Viva la Calle and San Jose Day came together for one massive celebration. Muhammad Ajimi takes us to the heart of the action.
Viva Calle is an open road program that promotes activities such as walking, running, skating, etc. And San Jose Day is an arts and culture festival that celebrates the city. This year, the two events teamed up and opened up 6 miles of road for exploration.
San Jose is just so rich in culture and has so many awesome neighborhoods and communities that need to be showcased. So I think this is the perfect platform to bring all that together.
Viva Calle's mission is to promote healthy lifestyles and community engagement through open road exploration. That mission is what keeps some coming back year after year.
Makes it a bike community, a bike city. People feel welcome to come outside and learn new spots around San Jose and just explore the city more.
San Jose Day was created in 2017. Throughout the years, San Jose Day has only gotten bigger, starting with 30 vendors to now containing over 150 vendors.
There are so many organizations and businesses that are doing things here in San Jose, and we're not here to recreate the wheel, so we want to identify all the folks that are doing things and bring it all into one day.
This year marks a decade for Viva Calle, and for San Jose Day, this year marks its 7th.
Tons of people already know about Viva Calle, and tons of people already know about San Jose Day, and it's one day, one great day to celebrate San Jose.
And if you missed this one, don't worry. Viva Calle returns this year on June 8th and September 7th.
San Jose Day and Viva Calle SJ are about more than just fun. It's about connection, tradition, and rediscovering the heart of the city. In San Jose, Muhammad Ajimi, Update News.
Movies have long been a classic pastime, but outside of the blockbusters, independent films are taking center stage, especially at Morgan Hill's Jasper Poppy Film Festival. Reporter Angela Nguyen has more.
The Jasper Poppy International Film Festival is putting independent filmmakers in the spotlight. With over 1,000 film submissions, this event is about giving new voices a chance to shine on the big screen. Filmmakers and movie lovers gather to celebrate diverse stories. Cecilia Romo, an indie filmmaker, says independent cinema pushes representation forward.
We need more voices other than just cis hetero white males in Hollywood.
As an LGBTQ+ member and a person of color, Romo says telling her story helps others feel seen.
A lot of times I felt this in my life, that I was alone, or my voice didn't matter, or people wouldn't relate. And what I've learned is that when you really tap into that and dig deep, your specific story is very universal, and someone will take away from that in their own personal life. And I think that's very that's very beautiful.
And it's not just young creators taking part. Seasoned professionals like Dennis Sakamoto, who's been in the film industry since 1973, came to show support.
When I was doing it, it was hard, so hard, because, you couldn't get anywhere.
But today, Sakamoto says, the digital age has leveled the playing field.
But now you can shoot and get noticed, and that's what's really important.
SJSU film professor Ashley Searing agrees. She adds that passion is only part of the equation. Drive matters too.
It's the perseverance that will ultimately, I think, get you to where you want to be.
Searing hopes to see even more supporters for indie filmmakers in the future. From one city to the next, they continue to open doors for filmmakers. In Morgan Hill, Angela Nguyen, Update News.
Hey Iber, what are you doing for Easter weekend?
I'm playing an important lacrosse game this weekend.
Sounds awesome. Well, I hope the weather shines well for you. Let's find out in this week's weather forecast with Larry Larkin.
Hi, I'm Larry Larkin, and this is your weekly weather forecast. After a summer-like start to the week, we've got some cooler changes underway with a chance for showers through Thursday, which includes a chance for late-season Sierra snow. Clearing skies are expected to return by next weekend. Here's a look at the chance for Sierra snow as showers continue in the region. While the totals may not be too much, Impacts on travel are expected at times, to use caution if traveling Thursday into Friday. Closer to the Bay Area, we could see showers at times midweek through Thursday before low pressure moves out of Southern California and high pressure builds in to start the weekend. This will likely bring some breezy conditions, but also warming temperatures as well. For Santa Cruz and the coast, we're expecting cloudy skies and cool conditions with a chance for isolated showers clearing later in the week. Similar trend for Oakland and the East Bay, with temperatures rising late this week into the start of the weekend. Around San Francisco, we'll have clouds, some drizzle, and breezy conditions with a slight warm-up later in the week. Shower chances near San Jose and the South Bay should diminish into Friday as skies clear to start the weekend. I'm Larry Larkin, and that's your weekly weather forecast. Now back to the desk.
Stay tuned for more after the break.
Do you want to know what's happening with your Spartan sports? Find out next.
Update Eats makes its return. Stay tuned to see what's on the table this week.
Find out what SJSU students want to see headline one of the biggest music festivals. Up next.
Now we have Nick Austin up to the plate with this week's Spartan Sports Central. Take it away, Nick.
Welcome to Spartan Sports Central. Let's get in some of the action from this past weekend. Men's baseball won 2 out of their 3 games against Nevada this past weekend as they improved to 20-16 overall. In San Jose State's second game against Nevada, junior Rocco Caballero went 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs, a solo home run, and an eventual game-winning double in the 9th inning. Let's take a look at that pivotal play. Caballero managed to sneak the ball down the left side foul line, which resulted in San Jose State being able to score the eventual game-winning runs. Next, our 13th-ranked women's water polo team took on number 1 ranked USC this past Sunday. However, they ended up falling to the Trojan squad 17-8. Sophomore Rose Jensen, however, did shine in the mats as she was responsible for 5 out of the 8 goals scored for SJSU. Now, we look ahead as it's everyone's favorite time of the week, the Spartan Showcase. This week, we're highlighting the men's baseball team again as they will take on a Mountain West foe in San Diego State in a 3-game series. That starts on Thursday at 6:05. The next game will be on Friday at 6:05, and they will finish off the series Saturday at 12:05 noon. That's all for this week's edition of Spartan Sports Central. Now let's send it back to the desk.
Hopefully you have worked up an appetite because reporter Justin Ray is back again with his segment, Update Eats. What you got for us, Justin?
Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of Update Eats. This week's episode of Update Eats brings us to a small Cambodian cuisine spot known as Anchor Chef, located on South 1st Street in San Jose. Anchor Chef was founded almost 2 years ago by Sheni Lau, a refugee from Cambodia who arrived to the U.S. in June of 1979 following the Cambodian genocide.
But I was able to finish high school, went through college, and get my master's degree from Santa Clara in applied math. I worked in the aerospace industry and biotech as an engineer for 30 years before I switched to this one. The reason I switched was, after my mom passed. So when she passed away, I wanted to just carry her legacy, and her legacy was making food shared with people. And the one thing that she always made was hot sauce. So I make hot sauce. I actually sold it, and I think the first batch I made was a jar for $10. I was so happy. The most popular item on our menu is amok. I would say like 90%, 95% people love it and wanted to come back, wanted to bring their friends back. But the challenge is people hesitate to try.
That just about wraps up this week's episode of Update Eats. Thank you all for joining. In San Jose, I'm Justin Ray. Now back to the desk.
You know, Iber, Coachella's ending this weekend. What's an artist you would want to see headline?
I would love to see J. Cole headline Coachella. Let's see what SJSU students think in this week's State of the Spartans.
First artist, I'm going to do country, probably Zach Bryan. I love Zach Bryan. Second, someone I always wanted to see perform probably is Frank Ocean, even though that might never happen. Third artist, rap, I'm going to say probably Lil Baby.
I want to see Playboi Carti, Kodak Black, and NBA Youngboy.
I'd like to see Travis Scott, Radiohead, and Deftones.
I would want to see SZA, Fade, and Caliuchis.
I would want to see Fade, Caliuchis, or Raúl Alejandro.
Pierce the Veil, the Cranberries, and My Chemical Romance.
I would like to see Bad Bunny, Raúl Alejandro, and Fanny Lu.
My favorite's Bixby, and then I do like, actually his vibe wouldn't fit, but Brent Perez, I like him. Probably Starfall.
Are you looking for something to do this weekend? Well, then I got you covered in my weekend roundup.
Welcome back to Vincent's Weekend Roundup. Starting off on April 18th, the Off the Grid Night Market in San Francisco is returning from its hiatus. The summer series is going to include around 100 local shops, 25 food creators, and live entertainment. Maybe the best part about it is that admission will be free. Earth Day is on Tuesday, but celebrate early with organization Keep San Jose Beautiful. A cleanup is being hosted on April 19th at Selma Olinder Dog Park. It is being advertised as a way to meet new people while having a positive impact on the community. Easter Sunday is this week, and the Plex in San Jose is hosting its Easter Extravaganza. Taking place on Saturday, there's going to be egg hunts, crafts, pony rides, and so much more. The event can be for the whole family, with local retail vendors and foods available. That just about does it for this week's Weekend Roundup.
And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here, thanks for joining. Don't forget to follow us on our socials. We'll see you next week.